How's it going, everybody? Combo here. Today we got 5 quick tips with the evasive dash here on the light class. And I gotta say, normally I like to do my weapons, but we're kind of running out of them, so I'm not trying to plug myself, but go check out my other guides on the other weapons in the game. I've done just about every single weapon in the game now, so yeah, now we're moving on to the specializations. What better time to make a guide than when lights are more popular than they ever have been here in Season 3 of the Finals. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section down below, as well as if I missed anything. Not gonna waste your guys' time, I'm done yapping, let's get right into it. Starting things out at number 1, we have the Super Dash. Now, I want to make things very clear. If the Super Dash already exists somewhere in the world, this is something different, not trying to rip you off. I just thought the name was cool. So we're going to be using a jump pad. Caveat, this also works for the jump pad on the medium class. So if you have a medium player on your team, let them know so you can launch yourself. Bit of context as to why this is useful. At the start of Season 3, Embark actually reduced the amount of distance you get when sliding into a jump pad that is placed flat. This is really sad, I don't know why they did it, but I use the dash, so it doesn't really affect me. The way this works, you're going to dash into the jump pad. It's going to give you a big speed boost. There are a couple ways you can goof this up though. Firstly, if I run into it and dash late, as you can see, I go absolutely nowhere. Another thing I see people do, the dash doesn't really help your momentum a whole heck of a lot. So if I slide into this and then just do like 3 dashes like that, as you can see, yeah, I get a little bit of distance, but guys, it's not helping you. Please stop doing that. So the way you're gonna do this to get the big boost, when you dash, you want your dash to be ending when you hit the jump pad. This means the jump pad's gonna preserve that momentum and it's gonna send you flying. So as you can see right here, dash, right as my jump is ending, when I hit the ground, I start bunny hopping and I get even more speed. Now, if you want, you can use those other dashes to preserve that momentum and go further, but generally, I'd say save them. Next up at number 2, we have a little thing I like to call the item yeet. Now this is super cool. If you've ever seen a clip on YouTube or like wherever, where people send a cash box like 150 yards and sink it right into the box, they're probably doing this. As a bit of context, here's how far you throw it normally on the light class. You don't throw it very far, but when you use this tip, as you can see, oh my lord, yeah, it's gone. It's literally gone forever. You'll never see it again. So the way this works, you're going to pick up an item. This works with any item in the game. As soon as you input your dash, you want to throw it. The later in your dash you throw the item, the shorter it's gonna go. So as you saw right there, I input that throw right as my dash began. If I wait a second, as you can see, I still get some good distance, but not quite as far. So keep that in mind. This does in fact work with some pretty funny item combos. I'm sure some people are familiar to what nukes used to be, aka you throw a bunch of breach charges and stuff onto a barrel and throw them and they'd one-shot people. It's not quite that crazy, but what I love to do is stick a thermal bore to a gas tank or really whatever. So I'll hit it on this thing right here, dash it right there, and as you can see, that's gonna blow up and do some damage. That one's not super strong, but I like it because it blows up walls. Another thing you can do is the breach charge. This is probably more familiar. I don't really like to use the breach charge though, because they can be a little inconsistent, and they don't always like to explode when you press the arming button. So right here, once again, we're gonna pick up this barrel. As soon as we throw it, we're going to detonate these. Make sure both of them are blinking before you do this. So pick it up, bam! As you can see, it's still got some distance on it. Takes a second, but as you can see, if you time it good, I mean, you can still do some damage. Generally though, I would stick to cash boxes and other items, but if you want to, you can yeet stuff as far as you want. Next up at number 3, we have the weapons that pair best when using the dash. I'll show them. Really, you can use any weapon with the dash. Personally, I think these weapons just really do well and synergize good with it, but once again, do what you want. It's all about just having fun. If it works better for you, man, just do whatever you want. But I'm showing you what I like to do. So if you did not know, there used to be a method if you were looking right at somebody and you dashed, you used to be able to one-shot them in the face. It was kind of cool. It's called the Akiba step. That's gone now. So now if you want to do that, you kind of have to dash, flick around, and hit them in the back. It's still very good, but generally the dash is very good for the dagger because you can get in their face, you can dash away, you can do all kinds of stuff, and it really helps your survivability as well as evasiveness. But if you want to do that one shot I'm talking about, you can charge it, get behind them as you can see right there, and hit your target. Take some practice, but if you take the time, you'll get good at it. The other one is, of course, the sword, and I showed this off in my video. When you're using that heavy attack, you can extend the range of it by dashing. So as you can see, you already get a pretty good little lunge, but if I do that and then dash, that hitbox is still active. So yeah, all those lights you see running around, they're probably doing this. The dash makes the sword an absolute menace. So yeah, just keep these two in mind. I think they pair best with the dash. Give it some time, and yeah, you will absolutely run people over. Next up at number 4, we have dash reloading. Now I showed off, like, you might argue that this is kind of the same thing as the weapon pairings, but I want to talk about a different way to use the dash. It's called the evasive dash for a reason. Of course, you can dash in the target's face, you know, get on them, be super aggressive with the dash and do damage, as I showed off with the sword and the dagger, but also what the dash really excels at is making up for the times in which you are most vulnerable. So a perfect example of this, the SH-1900 has a really long reload animation. So rather than using the dash to get in this guy's face, if I don't kill him and I have to reload, I'm kind of screwed. However, if I position myself where I don't have to dash to get in his face to do full damage, like right here, you know, let's say I don't finish him off, I can use that dash to make myself harder to hit, so I can reload without getting lasered and take out my target. This is also very effective with really any weapon in the game. I also love this with the bow because it takes a little bit of time to knock it. As you can see, shoot dash, assuming I can hit anything. You know, that's another really good use of the dash during that reload. And as I showed off, really any weapon in the game. So even if I'm using something super simple like the XP54 right here as I'm reloading, as soon as I come out, I'm able to hit more shots. So just keep that in mind. Use it evasively, keep yourself alive. It's cool to be aggressive, but sometimes you need to use things as they're intended. And finally, at number 5, we have dash climbing. Now, if you use the dash pretty consistently, this one might come off a little brain dead, and I apologize for that, but for people who are new at using the dash, this is really important. So when you're fighting people, and something I notice a lot, they really like to only use the dash left and right, which is completely fine, or to go forward, I should say. And that's completely fine. You know, like again, you're using it evasively, kind of like how it's intended. But if you did not know this, you can also use the dash to get vertical momentum. And what I mean by that is, let's say I'm looking at a building and I'm like, dang, I want to get up there, but I don't want to use that ladder because maybe there's a team or something like that. You can use the dash to go upwards. So once again, if I want to get up here, if I look up while using the dash, as you can see, I can get some vertical momentum. It's not a ton. Of course, the grapple is going to do better, but just keep that in mind, especially if you're in a more vertical space, like right here. Let's say like right here, and I just barely didn't make it to the ledge. If I just dash up like that, check it out, I'm up here. So the dash isn't just left and right. Of course, when you're fighting people, it might be better to do that, but you also got that vertical momentum, so keep that in mind. Anyways, everyone, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And as I always say, please let me know if I missed something. Especially when it comes to movement in this game, there are so many people that are just absolutely cracked out of their minds, and I can stand to learn so much. The dash is my favorite specialization in the entire game, so I'd like to think I was pretty honest about the stuff that's going to be useful in game to game. I'm sure there's a bunch of super niche like movement techniques that I did not cover here. If you want to see that, let me know. I'd love to try to, because that stuff's really cool. Especially the movement in this game is just so fluid, so let me know if you want to see that. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to hold you here forever. This has been Combo. Stay home, stay safe, and maybe expect more guides like this in the future. We're kind of running out of weapons, as I said. So, yeah, this has been Combo. Stay home, stay safe, and, yeah, peace out, everybody. Later.